What is good, Pack Rats? Pac-Man Case here. This is a spoiler-free review of the first 10 hours of God of War Ragnarok. Down Ragnarok. Where do I start with God of War Ragnarok? This franchise has had so many games. It's even had essentially its own storytelling of a trilogy already, and now we're in the new trilogy of God of War in the Norse mythology versus the Greek mythology. Now, I have been a huge fan of God of War for the longest time. Right when that game first came out, I was absolutely blown away. I could not tell you how giddy I was to know that a new trilogy was going to be happening in the Norse mythology, and damn it, man, have they done this justice. So in the first games, if you guys are not familiar with God of War, in the first games, it was hack and slash action. That was all it was. It was Kratos going for vengeance against the gods, going back to get Ares, to get Zeus, with help from some gods and enemies of others. And that story was just epic. The hack and slash was insane. But when it moved to the new franchise after all of the previous entries, we had the trilogy, we had the PSP titles, we got mobile titles, we had prequels. They finally did a whole revision of God of War, and it was done with his god life, right? Has a son with him named Atreus, and this character you see grow throughout this franchise, which is really cool. At its essence is a father and son story. So this review is for the PS4 version. So I am one of the few, at least it feels like, that does not own a PlayStation 5 yet.
Boo! Boo! Rubbish! Filth! Slime! Muck! Boo! Boo! Boo!
I was going to hold off and get a PlayStation 5 for God of War. Now, I cannot find one, and I'm not really busting my tail to find one, but if I come across one, I'll pick it up. At this point, I could double negative, not play God of War Ragnarok. Now, my first impressions when you start up the game, the PlayStation 4 doesn't have too much problems until you get about a half an hour into the game, and then this thing kicks on to overdrive. Like, the fan is as loud as I've ever heard on the PlayStation 4 as it's trying to pump out the graphics from God of War Ragnarok.
More power. We're superheating. Intermix temperature 7,400 degrees.
It has some issues with frame rate. There is some issues with audio that I've noticed as I was playing the game. But if you do not have a PlayStation 5, it is okay to play God of War Ragnarok on your PlayStation 4. You are able to make that happen. If you don't have a PlayStation 5, it's absolutely okay to play this on the PlayStation 4. But just know your console's going to be loud as hell as it's trying to get through it. So I definitely have my audio increased on my TV as I'm playing this game. The actual gameplay, though, is very similar to what you played in the 2018 God of War. So Atreus is a little bit older now. He's a teenager, and they are trying to figure out what's going on with him, what his origin is from. They're going after certain characters that will kind of lead that story along. This one's cool because it does give you an opportunity to play as different characters and not just Kratos, which I thought was kind of a cool aspect of it. And I don't remember in the first one if you get to do that, but in this one it kind of stuck with me that was an option. There's a lot more special moves that Kratos gets with his axe. Now, I'm only 10 hours in, so there may be other weapons that Kratos gets to use, but I've not played those yet. So far, the axe and the Blades of Chaos are the two weapons that you get kind of at the start of the game. You get an opportunity to kind of grow those with runes, special abilities, and you can do that with Atreus as well with his bow and arrow. So The gameplay itself is phenomenal, but what I have to say really stands out in this game, aside from the story, which is phenomenal so far, is the graphic elements, even on the PS4, look beautiful. The landscape they chose, Ragnarok is bringing everybody into Fimbulwinter, which is essentially just like a huge snowstorm across all of the realms, and it affects each one a little bit differently. But as you're playing in this game, you can tell how much attention to detail has gone into everything. You still have a lot of fun elements. There's still a lot of side quests, treasure hunting, puzzle solving, which is really cool in the God of War series. But overall, this game is incredible. Most people have said it's going to be their game of the year. I have to second that. I can't imagine there being any other game that might be able to top this. I know I've heard things of like Elden Ring. I know Happy Console Gamer was talking about Xenoblade Chronicles 3. God of War has everything across the board. The gameplay's phenomenal, the story's amazing, the graphics are incredible. Now I will say, this is my personal opinion, I will say, I would rather play this on the PlayStation 5. I feel like the PlayStation 4 is truly at its life's end in being able to push that next generation feeling. So not only from frame rate, but there's a huge disadvantage of playing on the PlayStation 4 because you don't have the DualSense controller. And I've heard that the feeling you get throwing the axe, the feeling you get by pulling your bow back, those are things that you can really only experience on the PlayStation 5 DualSense, and you kind of lose that on the PlayStation 4. PlayStation 4 controller is awesome, it's comfortable, you've got some rumble features, but you're not getting that haptic feedback that God of War was truly designed around. And I have noticed too that they bring the overall ratio down just a little bit on the PlayStation 4 as well to be able to squeeze those graphics through. So you're not gonna be able to push it all the way on your TV unless you use like a stretch or a fit function. But aside from that, I would say if I had the opportunity to have a PS5 and play God of War on it, that's the system, the definitive version that you need to play. If you cannot wait like me, you will have a good time playing this game, but we are missing out on a lot of those cool features and really experiencing the gameplay at its full potential. So guys, as a huge fan of God of War already, I highly recommend you picking this game up, whether it's PS5 or PS4, just to experience the God of War story. It gives you a quick recap in the beginning, so if you didn't play the 2018 version, which I highly recommend you do, it's okay. It'll kind of give you a recap of what happened in that story so that you can just pick up and play here, but you guys will not be disappointed. I'm excited. Apparently this game can be anywhere from 25 to 60 hours to complete. So at 10 hours in, I still have a lot of game to play, but I thought it was important right now to talk about it early and let everybody know I am a huge fan of this game so far and excited where it's gonna take us. So guys, leave it down in the comments below if you are also playing God of War Ragnarok right now. Let me know how you feel about controls, function, story. If you're playing on the PlayStation 4, what type of issues have you had? Because I know that I've had plenty of issues on the PlayStation 4. One of them is the audio keeps kicking out as well, so there'll be scenes where it just does not have the processing power to take care of the entire scene, whether it's a cutscene or whether it's gameplay. Sometimes audio will just cut out from the monsters' voices to just the overall background audio or sound effects. So that is one of the things that I've had issues with on the PlayStation 4, aside from it being super loud. So yeah, guys, hit me up in the comments below if there is something that has been annoying to you on the PlayStation 4 version. And if you have the PS5 version, I would love to know your thoughts as well on what you think about the game so far. Keep it spoiler free for anybody that hasn't played the game yet. And after we finish this game, we'll do a final recap of how amazing this story has been so far. All right, guys, I will catch you when it's done. Bye.